Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how you can create cool custom interior designs using LEDs bought off of eBay using my 350Z. So first of all, there's a few different types of LED lighting kits that you can get online. The one that I've opted to go for is a RGB coloured remote controlled lighting kit. I opted to go for this because I don't want to mess around with any of my wiring harnesses for the car, and I don't want to have to pull any of my interior trim apart as it's a relatively new model car. So I'll show you the kit that I opted to go for. Now this has a little power transformer on there. That's the control box for the RGB. What that there does will output the right volts all the way into these RGB LED strips here. They have 3M backing, so you're able to put them in any hard to reach place. These only cost me $30 off of eBay and got here relatively quickly here in New Zealand. Also included with this particular kit, it comes with a RGB powered remote. Now this does require CR20, I don't know if you can read that there, 2025 batteries. It's a coin type battery. It's not included with it. You can get a pack of two for sort of 7-8 NZ dollars, but I happen to have one lying around, so I've already gone ahead and put that in there. And this control panel will allow you to choose different colors and different types of fade and flash effects there, as well as an on and off mode and brightness, so it's quite a little sophisticated unit. So the next thing you're going to want to do is figure out exactly how you're going to install this inside your car and where you want to place everything. Now, because this particular kit includes a cigarette port lighter, that means I have to use any of the pre-existing cigarette port lighters in the car. Obviously you can modify this in order to wire it into your car's factory electronics, but I'm not going to do that because it's a new model car and I don't want to mess with anything, as most cars these days are electronic as far as a lot of their features are concerned, so I don't want to mess with any of that. I'm just going to go with the cigarette port lighter. Fortunately, in my particular model vehicle, I have another cigarette port lighter just in the back there, so I'm going to go ahead and use that for this install. So what I've done is, this particular kit has two lengths of LED wiring, one much longer than the other. So what I'm going to do is because I'm installing the cigarette port lighter in the back, I'm going to run the longer LED strips all the way down the side of the car and up underneath the dash. Same for the other side, and then the shorter strip I'm going to have just in the side here, and that way I get full coverage of the car with its RGB lighting. Now it's important to note that when you are running things from the back to the front or vice versa, you want to avoid the seat mounts, the rails, as if you move your seat forward you run the risk of cutting your wiring in half, which will obviously kill the RGB and render it completely useless. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in now. When installing anything that requires a lot of cabling, you want to ensure that they're well managed and tucked away as much as possible. So cable management is quite important. I'll show you how I've done it, but given there's a large sort of box that's included with it, I've tucked that away in the center container here. All the cabling is split across both sides, so two for that side of the car, two down here for the other. I've tucked them all in the middle of the seat so they don't go under the seat rails, so they won't get chopped in half, and then coming out the front. So one I've got just sitting in here. The other one I've managed to tuck up way underneath the center console, underneath the steering wheel, and all the cabling for it I've tucked underneath the center console here so that you don't see any of the cabling hanging out. That way you don't get caught up on them. And I've done the exact same thing again for the other side. One LED down here, one tucked up way underneath where the passenger's feet would be. And of course, in order to use your remote, the IR receiver actually needs to be exposed, so make sure you can get to that. I've gone and left mine just hanging out a little bit there. Obviously there's much cleaner ways to do this install, but this is the route that I've opted to. Everyone can do it a little differently should they want to. So in order to make sure that the LEDs have been installed correctly, now let's turn the car on and make sure that they're working. And they're all on, so that obviously means we haven't cut up anything in the process, and it's all powered and good to go. So let's give it a go at night time and see how these work. Okay, so now that it's much darker, let's turn it all on and see how it looks. So we've got our LEDs glowing underneath the passenger side, underneath my side, and down the side of the door. Okay, now let's test the lighting out itself with the remote. So we've got a white, blue, green, red, or we can rotate through the colors, cause some seizures. That one's quite cool. But all in all, it has a pretty cool effect on the interior of your car. If you can program it to a color you prefer, such as red, you can change the brightness up and down should you want to. It makes a bit of a difference with how your car looks on the inside. So it's just that easy to get custom RGB interiors going on with your car. I'll leave a link in the description below to eBay, where you can grab your own for about $30 odd. Other than that, guys, stay tuned for the next episodes. They're going to be plastic dipping some of the chrome parts on the car, and we're going to be going down to Clubfest 2017 up at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park, so stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe and share in order to help this channel grow.